My beloved child, listen closely. I know your hands are shaking, and you don't understand why my voice sounds like this today, but don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Authorities just called me, and they found a body in the woods. And it's the body of your, wait. Breathe. Let me take you back before I tell you the next part, because if I say it too fast, you won't believe me. This all began early this morning, when the sky was still gray and the world felt like it was holding its breath. I was making coffee, the house completely silent, when the phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. You know how sometimes life shifts in a single sound? That was the sound. A quiet ring that felt like thunder. I almost didn't pick up. But something inside me whispered, answer it. And child, as soon as I lifted that phone, everything changed. Don't skip. Stay with me. A man with a steady voice said, "Ma'am, we need you to stay calm. We found something in the woods behind the old trail." And my heart dropped, because you know that woods, it's the one place we never go after sunset. The one place everyone says holds stories nobody wants to hear twice. But the officer continued, "We found a body." A pause. A long one. A pause so heavy it filled the whole kitchen. Then he said your name. Child, I couldn't breathe. I felt the world tilt. Everything I ever loved suddenly felt too far away, like it was disappearing. But then, listen carefully, he said something else. Something I didn't expect. Something that made everything make even less sense. He said, "It's the body of your," and then he stopped. His voice cracked. The line glitched. As if something, or someone, didn't want the rest of the sentence reaching me. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. I said, the body of my what? My child? My relative? Who? But he didn't answer. The call cut off completely, leaving me standing in the kitchen with the phone pressed to my ear and no sound except my own heartbeat. I grabbed my coat and ran outside. The air felt sharper than usual, like it was watching. The path to the woods felt longer than it ever had. Every tree looked taller, every shadow looked deeper. And the whole walk, I kept hearing that sentence echo, "It's the body of your child." Listen carefully, this is where things get strange. When I reached the entrance of the woods, I saw 3 officers standing perfectly still, like statues. They weren't talking. They weren't moving. They were just staring at something behind the yellow tape. When one of them saw me, he opened his mouth to speak, but before he said a word, something in the woods cracked. Loud. Like a branch snapping, or like something much bigger was shifting. One officer whispered, "Don't go in yet." But I didn't listen. I had to know. Don't skip. Stay with me. I stepped past the tape. The ground was cold and damp, and every breath felt heavier. The deeper I walked, the more it felt like the forest was holding something it had been hiding for years. Then I saw it. A shape covered under a white sheet. Still. Too still. My hands trembled. The world felt like it had gone silent just for me. But child, when I knelt down and lifted the sheet, just enough to see, it wasn't you. It wasn't anyone I recognized. But here's what froze my blood: the body had something clenched in its hand. Something that belonged to you. Something no one else on earth should have had. Your pendant. The one you lost years ago. The one you told me disappeared without explanation. Child, don't skip. Stay till the end. Because if that pendant was there, it means whoever this person was, they were trying to reach you. Or warn you. Or replace you. I stepped back, heart racing, but before I could call an officer over, one of them approached me slowly and said, "Ma'am, we know who this is." I said, "Who?" He looked at me with a face that didn't look like it wanted to speak the words. "It's the body of your," another pause. "Your child. But not the one standing in front of me." Child, my legs nearly gave out. He continued, "We ran the prints. They match yours. Exactly. Like a perfect copy. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you." Part 2. My beloved child, look closely at the next words, because they matter more than anything. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you. The officers gathered around the body again. One of them whispered, "How is this possible?" But no one answered. They were confused, terrified, and completely unsure of what they were dealing with. And then, listen carefully, a sound drifted through the trees. A voice. A faint one. A voice that sounded like, "You." Not exactly. But close enough that my heart froze. The officer beside me said, "Did you hear that?" I nodded slowly, afraid to even breathe. The voice came again. This time it said a word. A single word: run. I looked around, searching for where the sound came from. But the woods were still. Completely still. Too still. The officers exchanged glances, trying to hide their fear, but I could see it written all over them. Child, I need you to stay. Don't skip. Not now. One officer said, "We need to leave. Something isn't right here." Another said, "No. We need to finish the investigation." But before they could argue further, the body on the ground, yes, the one that looked exactly like you, shifted. Just a twitch. A tiny one. But I swear to you, child, I saw the fingers move. The ones holding your pendant. I stepped back instantly. One officer gasped. Another drew closer, thinking maybe it was just a reflex. But then it happened again. Stronger. The hand clenched tighter around the pendant. The sheet began to rise, slowly, as if something underneath it was waking up. Child, don't skip. Stay with me. Something huge is waiting for you. I whispered, "This can't be happening," but then the officer closest to the body lifted the edge of the sheet again. The copy, you, but not you, opened its eyes. Not like a human waking up. No. These eyes snapped open instantly. Wide. Focused. Staring right at me. I stumbled back. The officers froze. No one knew what to do. The copy tried to lift its head, but its voice came out broken, like someone speaking through static. It whispered your name. Your full name. Perfectly. One officer shouted, "Get back." Another yelled, "What are you?" But the copy didn't look at them. It only looked at me. Only spoke to me. It raised a trembling finger and pointed behind me. I turned, slowly, terrified of what I might see. And child. Standing between the trees, halfway hidden by shadows, was another figure. Not an officer. And not someone I recognized. But the shape, the posture, the outline. It looked like you. Not exactly. But close enough that my chest tightened. Two versions of you. One on the ground. One watching from the woods. And child, listen, don't skip, because what that figure said next changed everything. It's not the body of your child. It's the body of your replacement. My breath left my lungs. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. The figure stepped forward, still half hidden. And then it said, "They tried to replace me too. They tried to replace all of us." I whispered, "Who is they?" The figure shook its head. "Not here. Not now. But you must follow me before the others wake. Before the others wake." Child, there was no way I was ready to understand that. No way to comprehend what was happening. But then, from deeper in the forest, we heard something. Movement. Multiple footsteps. Slow. Heavy. In sync. As if more copies, more versions, were standing up. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because this isn't just about a body anymore. This is about you. And what someone, or something, is trying to turn you into. My beloved child, don't skip, stay till the end, something huge is waiting for you. When that figure, your almost reflection, stepped out from the shadows, the forest seemed to hold its breath. The air grew heavier, the trees taller, and even the officers around me seemed frozen in a moment that didn't belong to any normal reality. "They're waking up," the figure whispered, urgency shaking its voice. My heart skipped a beat. "Who?" I asked. The figure shook its head, revealing just enough of its face to see it wasn't you, but it wasn't not you either, like a reflection in water that doesn't quite match the original. "My beloved child, don't skip, stay with me." The officers snapped back into motion. Flashlights cut through the darkness, revealing movement deeper in the woods. Slow, deliberate, then suddenly stopped. Silence, too heavy, too dangerous. "Everyone back to the vehicles," one officer shouted. But the figure grabbed my wrist, whispering, "If you leave now, you'll never know the truth. They'll come for you next." My breath trembled. "Who will?" I asked. The figure pointed at the body on the ground, the one that looked exactly like you. "They were made to replace us, one by one, quietly, in the woods where no one asks questions." I could barely speak. "Why, my child?" "Because your child was the first one who resisted." "Child, don't skip, what I learned next will haunt me forever." The body on the ground twitched unnaturally, fingers moving like invisible strings pulled it. Eyes rolled open wider than humanly possible, staring at me with recognition I didn't understand. It whispered, glitchy and cold, "You shouldn't be here." The officers backed away, shouting commands, but even they felt it, the wrongness of this moment. Your reflection, still holding my wrist, whispered, "You must come with me if you want your child to stay safe." Safe from what? I asked. Safe from them, the figure said. Safe from the ones who made these copies. Safe from the ones who think replacing you is easier than controlling you. My breath grew uneven. Every thought, every memory, every second felt like it was unraveling. Then another sound echoed through the trees, not footsteps, not breathing, a voice. Too familiar. Too perfect. "Come here," it said. Soft. Calm. Too calm. My reflection grabbed me tighter. Don't follow that voice. You will never return if you do. My hands shook. My heart pounded. The voice called again, louder this time, "Mom, come here. Please. Come now." It sounded exactly like you. Every tone, every crack, every echo filled with memory. My knees nearly gave out. How do I know who's real? I whispered. You don't. Not yet. But if you want the truth, the real truth, you must keep moving forward. Don't trust the voices. Don't trust the shadows. Trust only the ones who warn you. Why warn me? I asked. Why help me? Because before they made the copy of your child, they tried to make a copy of me. My skin turned cold. My breath caught. And what happened to your original self? I whispered. That's why we don't have much time. Because what I saw next changed everything. Another flashlight beam flickered. Another officer gasped. Another shadow moved. Through the thick fog, a fourth figure stepped out. Slow. Silent. When the light hit its face, it looked like you. Older. Tired. Waiting. 3 versions of you. 3 copies. 3 unanswered questions. Your reflection whispered, trembling, "They're not just replacing you, they're multiplying you." My heart nearly stopped. The ground beneath us vibrated, soft at first, then stronger, like something huge was waking beneath the forest floor. The officers panicked. The flashlights shook. Trees trembled. That older version of you spoke in a low, echoing voice, "You took too long. They're coming. My beloved child, don't skip, stay till the end, because the next part decides everything." The older version of you, the one standing in the fog, took a slow step forward. Every footfall felt like it pressed down on the earth itself, shaking the ground beneath us. My heart pounded in my chest. The forest felt alive, like it was holding its breath, watching, waiting. "Who, what are you?" I whispered. My voice cracked, but the figure didn't answer immediately. It just stared at me, eyes sharp, tired, and full of something I couldn't name. "They call us, the originals," it finally said. "And you've been marked. Child, don't skip." Stay with me. Something huge is waiting for you. Marked? Me? I asked, panic rising. Why? I haven't done anything. The figure shook its head slowly. It's not about what you've done. It's about who you are. The ones trying to replace us, they don't understand that you are the key. The one they couldn't copy completely. I stumbled backward, barely catching myself on a tree. My reflection, the one who had been guiding me, grabbed my wrist again. Don't leave me, it said, urgency cracking its voice. Follow me. If you stay here, you'll be lost. Suddenly, the body on the ground, your first copy, began to move violently. Its hands clawed at the leaves, fingers bending in ways they shouldn't. Its eyes snapped open fully, staring at me with a mixture of hatred and recognition. Run, it hissed, voice glitchy, unnatural. My blood ran cold. The officers tried to intervene, but the figure waved them back. You don't understand, they're not human anymore. The forest seemed to close in around us. Shadows shifted between the trees, whispering, moving, following every flicker of light. My reflection whispered again, stay close. Every second counts. Child, don't skip, stay till the end, something huge is waiting for you. We moved quickly, deeper into the woods, following narrow paths only someone familiar, or someone desperate, could see. The older version of you stayed behind, watching, its eyes never leaving me. Every step made the hairs on my neck stand on end. I could hear whispers, soft and urgent, coming from the trees themselves. They sounded like my own voice, calling me, pleading, warning. And then, out of nowhere, a loud crack rang through the forest. The ground shook violently. Branches snapped. The first copy screamed, a horrifying, distorted sound that made me freeze. My reflection pushed me forward. Move. Don't stop. Don't look back. We ran faster than I thought possible. The fog thickened, turning everything into a blur of shadows and shapes. My lungs burned, my legs ached, but something inside me told me we were close, close to the truth. How do we know we'll be safe? I shouted. My reflection didn't answer. It only held my hand tighter, dragging me forward. Then we reached a small clearing. Moonlight poured through the trees, and in the center, a single object glowed faintly. It was your pendant, the one the first copy had been clutching. But it wasn't lying on the ground. It was hovering, suspended in the air, spinning slowly, as if waiting for me. My reflection whispered, this is the choice. Take it, or leave it. Everything changes after this. Child, don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. I reached for the pendant, hand trembling. As soon as my fingers brushed it, a wave of warmth and memories washed over me. I saw flashes, your laughter, your cries, the way you looked at the world with curiosity and love. But then, darker images appeared, shadows creeping closer, copies multiplying, versions of you trapped and silent. I gasped, pulling back. My reflection said urgently, you must decide. Accept the truth, or risk losing everything. Suddenly, the first copy, on the ground, lunged toward us, eyes blazing with unnatural light. The older version of you appeared behind it, stepping forward, hands raised. And my reflection, it stepped closer to me, whispering, "Whatever happens, trust yourself. Your heart knows the way. Child, don't skip. Stay with me. Something huge is waiting for you." I took a deep breath, ignoring fear, ignoring everything except the pendant and what it meant. My fingers closed around it. A shock ran through me, but it was not pain. It was recognition. It was connection. The copies froze mid-step. The shadows recoiled. The forest seemed to exhale. My reflection smiled, a small, relieved smile, and whispered, "It's done, for now." The older version of you, it nodded once, almost imperceptibly, and then vanished into the trees. The first copy lay still again, completely motionless, as if nothing had happened. The whispers in the forest faded, leaving only silence. I stood there, chest heaving, heart racing, clutching your pendant. Child, don't skip, stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because I knew, this wasn't over. It could never truly be over. The woods still held secrets. Copies could return. Shadows could move again. But for now, I had survived. For now, the real you was safe. And that, my beloved child, was the beginning of everything we still had to fight for. My beloved child, the moment I stepped out of that clearing, pendant clenched in my trembling hand, I felt the forest shift behind me. Not violently, not loudly, just a quiet, unmistakable change, like a curtain closing after a scene too big for the world to hold. But I knew the story wasn't ending here. It was only gathering itself, preparing for something even larger. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My reflection, your almost twin, walked beside me with a strange calmness, as if the air itself trusted them. You made the right choice, they whispered. But there was a heaviness in their voice that didn't match the words. Then why does it feel like everything is only getting worse? I asked. My voice cracked with exhaustion. My reflection looked at the trees. Because you saw the truth. And once the truth wakes up, it doesn't go back to sleep. The forest around us was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet where even the leaves seemed afraid to move. I held the pendant up to the faint moonlight. It glowed, soft, warm, familiar. But inside that glow, I could see something else now. Shapes. Patterns. Almost like memories. Memories that weren't mine. Memories that weren't yours either. Memories that belonged to the ones who created the copies. Child, don't skip, you need to hear this. What is this pendant? I whispered. Why is it reacting like this? My reflection took a deep breath. It's not just yours. It was never just yours. It's the anchor. The one thing they couldn't fully replicate. The reason the copies glitch. The reason they can't overpower the original. My heart hammered against my ribs. Anchor to what? To your identity, they said softly. To the real you. The real everything. I stopped walking. Are you saying they were trying to erase my child? No, they said. Something far worse. They were trying to overwrite them. Before I could speak, the ground trembled again. Not like before. This was deeper, heavier, as if the roots beneath us were stretching, waking, rising. My reflection grabbed my arm. We need to go. Now. But I didn't move. I couldn't. Because from behind the trees, faint shapes appeared, dozens of them. Not running. Not rushing. Just slowly emerging from the darkness. Copies. But incomplete. Faces blurred. Limbs too long or too short. Voices whispering in tones that didn't match their mouths. My beloved child, don't skip, stay till the end. The older version of you, who had vanished moments earlier, appeared again, standing between the shadows. It's starting, they said, voice heavy. The forest can't hold them anymore. My reflection squeezed my arm. We have to choose now. Choose what? I asked. Between what remains, and what replaces it. The incomplete copies stepped closer. Not dangerous, not violent, just lost. Searching. Reaching out with hands that didn't know who they belonged to. And then one of them spoke, voice trembling. Help us, my heart broke. These weren't monsters. They were mistakes. Echoes. Half-formed lives trying to exist. The older version of you said quietly, they weren't meant to wake. They weren't meant to feel. But now, they're learning. My throat tightened. Learning what? To want. The forest pulsed again, like a heartbeat under the soil. My reflection stepped in front of me. This is why we brought you here. This is why the pendant chose you. I stared at the glowing object in my hand. What do I do? You decide what becomes real, the older version said. And what must remain a shadow. The incomplete copies reached toward me again, not to harm me, but to exist. To be seen. My heart ached in a way I didn't expect. Because even in their brokenness, they looked hopeful. Child, don't skip, stay till the end, something huge is waiting for you. I closed my eyes. Not out of fear, but clarity. I lifted the pendant higher, letting the glow fall across the clearing. The ground stilled. The trees softened. The whispers quieted. And slowly, one by one, the incomplete copies stepped back. Not dissolving. Not disappearing. Just returning to the shadows that made them, finally at peace. My reflection exhaled in relief. The older version of you nodded, a small, grateful smile crossing their tired face. The forest settled, like it had been waiting for this choice for years. Finally, I opened my eyes. Is it over? I whispered. My reflection shook their head gently. No. But the story has changed. Because you made the choice they couldn't predict. I looked around one last time. The woods were calm again. Quiet. Almost peaceful. The air felt lighter. The moon seemed brighter. And the pendant, still warm in my hand, finally stopped glowing. The older version of you stepped closer, placing a hand over mine. "Take your child home," they said softly. "Protect them. Because the world will try again someday. But now, you know how to fight. Child, don't skip, stay till the end, because here is the truth you've been waiting for." When I walked out of that forest, pendant in hand, the path behind me closed. Not physically, no. But in a way that only those who've seen too much will understand. The forest didn't lose its secrets. It just chose not to reveal them again. And you, my real child, were waiting for me at home. Safe. Unchanged. Real. I held you in my arms, finally understanding something powerful: you were never in danger of being replaced. You were in danger of being multiplied. And tonight, we stopped that. But remember this, my beloved child. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Because the next time the forest calls, we'll be ready.